G'day. I've got some key points from the budget that I just thought I would share. Broadly, though, this budget has been not terrible. Nothing major has been broken. No major taxes have been added. The world is not on fire, which is a great thing. So I'm always happy when they don't break everything. I'll run through a couple of things. So hopefully we'll just cover some high level stuff. There's some attachments that are available in my email if you want to see some more. So broadly, the key points are that we still expect inflation to be around for a little while. In the budget, revenue was up, mostly because the war in Ukraine helped us sell more rocks and we made more money out of that. The Aussie dollar being a bit soft against the US has helped as well. And good employment. We're fairly fully employed at the moment, which means more tax came in for the government coffers to spend. So we ended up with a surplus where we actually didn't expect that previously, which is good news, really. We've got to be happy with that. Inflation is still expected to hurt for a while, which is the chart that I've got up here. It's expected to be a little above where our target range is, but should recover in the next couple of years. So we'll see what happens there. There's been a few things that they've done to try and help offset the immediate costs of inflation to people. Increased benefits in Centrelink, for example. Family support has been increased as well. They've slipped in some transport taxes, which on the flip side will hurt everybody because we'll be buying groceries and everything else, and everything gets impacted by transport. So I think that's a bit unfortunate, but I'm guessing that Mr. Chalmers had to make some money back somewhere for the spending to keep that surplus just sliding in. And there was also a few small changes to super, which I'd like to touch on. So that is a bit of a brief summary at a high level. I'm going to touch on a couple more in a little bit more detail, but if you don't want to watch any further, I can understand. I did want to touch on some of the benefits in Social Security. So job seeker payments are going up by $40 a fortnight to help with cost of living. We're seeing some single parent benefit increases as well, and also extending those out until kids are a bit older, till 14. And we're also seeing families supported with some childcare benefits being improved as well. So that's good news for all the families. And as you all know, I've got 4 kids, although none in childcare anymore. So I'm missing out on any of those benefits. Energy bill supplements are coming through the pipeline where everyone or eligible families will receive up to $500 off their bill, probably in the form of a tax rebate. Stepping into healthcare, we're seeing some increased funding in there, particularly to help with the GPs. So they're tripling the GP benefits to help get some. Everyone's been struggling with less and less GPs offering bulk billing, so that should hopefully help bring that back a bit. And consult times are being deliberately funded to be longer, so they're hoping to help more people get better healthcare through that service. The pharmaceutical benefit scheme is also looking to get an extra injection to help reduce the cost of medications, which will potentially also flow through to everyone on an aged pension and Commonwealth Seniors Health Card. So that's going to help our retiree market as well. For super, superannuation, the biggest change is that they're going to require from 1 July employer contribution, to be paid to the super fund when your wages are paid. Now, for most people, this might not seem like much, but it will reduce the amount of unpaid super that doesn't get picked up until later on, and if you're not paying it till every quarter. It's also not invested sooner. So from an investment strategy perspective, one of my favorite investment strategies is the dollar cost averaging or regular investment plan. So if you're getting paid fortnightly or weekly, and then your super is getting paid at the same time, incrementally you are making all of those little purchases more often, which will be then invested in the market and over the long term potentially return a better return for you than those lumps going in at only set points throughout the year. So I actually think this is a really good one, broadly speaking. Members with more than $3 million in their account will pay an additional 15%. Now that is only going to impact a very small number of Australians, but it will help bring in a little bit extra money as well for the government. Looking at aged care, I thought this was quite good. There is some increases for wages, which I'm very happy to see. I have friends who work in aged care, and I'd love to see them getting a more reasonable wage. But of course, then having access to aged care, and many of us have family in aged care centres now, more beds and funding for more beds is on the budget, which is good. And also no increase to the cost to the person. So that is a critical thing. My biggest concern there was they were going to go, let's increase all the wages, but now it's going to cost you more to stay here. And so I'm glad that that hasn't been hit. And finally, I'd like to also point out some of the benefits that have come through for small business. So again, there's an energy bill relief that's coming through, getting a bit of a rebate on electricity costs that have been increasing. There is a tax deduction for going green. So the government has offered a tax deduction for investments in green initiatives to try and encourage small business to get on board. A lot of large businesses have, out of their own maybe goodwill or potentially to look good, have already invested in green initiatives. It's a lot harder to do as a small business, so that should be good. And one that I'm excited to see from a injection into small businesses is the $20,000 asset write-off that we had through COVID has come back. So any uh, medium sort of size investment for small businesses, maybe a small car or a few other different things, can be written off in one go, giving you an immediate tax deduction as well. So that's good. In summary, that is all of the sort of, I thought, significant things that might impact you or people you know and family. So hopefully that's helped you with a little bit of a snapshot without having to go through and read all of the budget papers. I would like to invite you to connect with me as well on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever method that you feel free to do, and look forward to chatting with you soon.